Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk, back into the video day. And today, the Philadelphia Phillies have traded for one-time All-Star from the Los Angeles Angels from the Dominican Republic, Carlos Estévez, who will be a free agent after this season, so this could be a rental. But Carlos Estévez was an All-Star in the 2023 season and has done a great job as the closer this season in the 2024 season for the Los Angeles Angels. Has a 2.38 ERA this year in 34 games, and in those 34 games, he has 20 saves. There's 14 games that he's pitching where he doesn't have a save. I'd imagine a good chunk of those games are not save opportunities since the Angels have been a terrible team this year. But he's pitched 34 innings. He's only given up 20 hits, 10 runs, 9 earned runs, 3 home runs. He barely gives up home runs. He's only given up 52 home runs in his career, and he's pitched 418 games in his career. And he's given up only 5 walks this year. Like I mentioned, 34 innings he's pitched this year, only 5 walks. So not only does he barely give up home runs, but he barely gives up walks and has 32 strikeouts. So he gets a lot of strikeouts, barely gives up walks or home runs. And you can say the same thing, I guess, for hits and runs as well. And has had a great year this year. 2023 was an all right year. He was an all-star for number 1. He had a good win-loss record at 5-5 with a 3.90 ERA. That was really the only thing bad about his 2023 season was the ERA at 3.90. He pitched 63 games and had 31 saves, so that was really good. Pitched 62 innings, only giving up 62 hits, 34 runs, 27 earned runs, 7 home runs, 31 walks. So he was a little bit worse last year with giving up walks, but he's gotten a lot better at that. And then 78 strikeouts last year in 2023. Now, what are the Angels getting back from the Phillies? The Phillies, who have like a top 5, top 7 farm system in the league, while the Angels are ranked 27th in the best farm system, so they're bottom 5. What are the Angels getting from one of the best farm systems in the league in Philadelphia? They're getting something you would think they need, and they do, and that is starting pitching. 2 guys who have absolutely killed it in the minor leagues this year, and who are unfairly ranked 23rd and 28th in the top 30 prospects. And this is when you really, you look at these 2 guys, and Samuel Aldeguerri and George Klassen, the 2 guys who are headed to Los Angeles, and you say, okay, maybe the top 30 prospects should be updated for teams more than once a year. My ideal idea would be once a month we see the top 30 prospects update, because they're minor league player of the month for teams, and we see all that happen. Once a month would be good. Maybe more realistically, every 2 or 3 months to see the prospects update, instead of one time every year where before the season starts. And sometimes we will see the prospect update when the team, makes a trade where, some prospects or a prospect is on his way out or on his way in. So sometimes we do see an update, but it's not the full list that's updated when we see a deal happen. So I doubt it's going to happen. I don't think it would, but I'd love to see it be changed where we see the top 30 prospects updated more than once a year. And I'm going to get into that with the tweet that Jeff Passan made about Samuel Aldeguerri and George Klassen, because there were some fans hating on the Angels about this deal. Samuel Aldeguerri, a left-handed pitcher who's 22 years old, has absolutely been killing it, was signed from Italy at 17 years old. He's 6'1", is expected to make his major league debut in 2026. He's a left-handed pitcher, and what has he done in the minor leagues this year? Absolutely amazing as a starting pitcher. Has a record of 6-7 with a 3.23 ERA. He's pitched in 15 games with 15 starts. He's pitched in 78 innings and 53 hits, 3 home runs, 32 walks, 109 strikeouts, a batting average of 187 for the teams that face him, or the batters that face him, and his whip is amazing at 1.09. You thought the stats were good for Samuel Aldeguerri? Wait till you hear the other prospect, George Klassen. This is another 22-year-old who was drafted last year in the 6th round of the 2023 MLB draft. He's a right-handed pitcher. So him and Samuel Aldeguerri are different, but his stats are even better. And Aldeguerri has some experience in the minor leagues. He's been in the minor leagues for a couple years now. He's been with the Philadelphia Phillies organization since 2019, being signed at 17 years old, or almost 18 years old. George Klassen was just drafted in 2023. In his first year in the minor leagues, he has a 3-2 record with a 1.97 ERA playing in single A, and has pitched 14 games with 14 starts, pitching 59 innings, over 59 innings at 59 innings and 1/3 of an inning. 37 hits given up, only 3 home runs, 21 walks, 89 strikeouts, and you thought the batting average and the whip was good for Samuel Aldeguerri? Wait till you hear the batting average and the whip for George Klassen. 175 for George Klassen with batting average, with batters that he faces, and then the whip is 0.98. So he's been excellent in his first year in the minor leagues. And I want to read what Jeff Passan from ESPN had to say about some of the people that were hating on the Angels for, getting 2 prospects that are in the 20s for Philadelphia for a guy like Carlos Estévez, who is, an all-star and one of the best closers in baseball. This is what Jeff Passan said. A quick reminder for the trade deadline. Public prospect rankings quite often are not updated during the season. If you think George Klassen and Samuel Aldeguerri are not good because they were ranked in the 20s before the season, you do not know ball. They are both very good. I 100% agree with that. I just read off those 2 guys' stats. They have been doing a great job in the minor leagues at such a young age, at 22 years old. Playing in, I believe, like I mentioned, George Klassen is playing in single A, and I believe Aldeguerri is playing in double A, but if not, he's playing in single A. Both guys are doing such a great job, but also it really upsets me that we do not see the top 30 prospects update more often. Really something I'd love to see happen, but it doesn't. And honestly, if you ask me, I think if we saw, the top 30 prospects update every month or every 2 months, that I think these 2 guys right here would be top 10 prospects for the Phillies, if not both top 15. I think George Klassen, with what he's done in the minor leagues this year, I think he'd probably be in the top 10 at in the area of 10 to 7. And then if Samuel Aldeguerri was not in the top 10, he'd be outside the top 10 looking in. So you put these 2 guys who would probably be top 10, top 15 prospects on the Phillies if the top prospects were updated, who are one of the best farm systems in the Major League Baseball. You put them on an Angels farm system who is one of the worst in baseball at 27th. They're both top 10 prospects on the Angels, if you ask me. And I'm excited to see when we see it updated, because it will update. We will see the Angels. We will see this update. These 2 guys will be added to the Angels' top prospects. We'll see where they land. I'm going to make a prediction that both these guys are in the top 10, and if not, at least one of these guys are in the top 10, probably George Klassen. But both these guys are really good pitchers. These are not normal top 20 prospects. These guys are way better than 23rd and 28th best prospects. But I like the trade for both teams. Carlos Estévez is a really good addition for the Phillies. Now, they're giving up 2 really elite young starting pitchers to get him. This trade could go historically bad for Philadelphia if Carlos Estévez leaves after this season. If he does a great look, even if he leaves after, if he comes into Philadelphia and does a good job, and let's say Philadelphia wins a World Series, and even if he leaves this year, unless those 2 pitchers right there become elite starting pitchers and one of them has like a Hall of Fame career, I don't see it as a bad trade for Philadelphia, because they would win a World Series with his help. But if Philadelphia does not win the World Series this year, and Carlos Estévez decides to leave them in free agency after this year, and those 2 starting pitchers who have done such a good job in the minor leagues turn out to be really solid pitchers for the Los Angeles Angels or someone else, it's going to be a bad trade for the Philadelphia Phillies. But I think right now I'm pretty confident in the Phillies because they're already the best team in the National League. Since then, they've added in Austin Hayes, who's, keep in mind, another All-Star in 2023. He was an All-Star starter in the 2023 season for the Orioles. He had a batting average of almost 280 in the 2023 season. And he's even had a good year despite injuries this year, batting 260 for Los Angeles. For Baltimore. So I like the additions we've seen Philadelphia make. They're my favorite to come out of the National League, but I don't know what happens when they face whoever's coming out of the American League. Whether that's the Baltimore Orioles, or it's the New York Yankees, or it's the Houston Astros, or whoever it may be. Let me know your thoughts on the Phillies trading for Carlos Estévez in the comment section, and peace out.